Okay, we begin this morning's class with chapter 6. This is the last chapter in our macroeconomics portion, which is open economy macroeconomics. And in that we have the balance of payment and foreign exchange market. Okay, now talking about open economy macroeconomics, write down an open economy is one which interacts with other countries through various channels. An open economy is said to be one that trades with other nations in goods and services and most often also in financial assets. Most modern economies are open. And there are three ways in which these linkages are established. These three ways are: first, output market; second, financial market; third, labor market. These are the three ways in which these linkages are established: market, output market, financial market, and labor market. Taking the first one, output market. An economy can trade in goods. An economy can trade in goods and services with the other countries and this widens the choice in the sense that consumers and producers can choose between domestic and foreign goods. Second point, financial market. Most often, an economy can buy financial assets from other countries. These give investors the opportunity to choose between domestic and foreign assets. Third, labor market. Firms can choose where to locate production, and workers to choose where to work. There are various immigration laws. There are various immigration laws which restrict the movement of labor between countries. Next line. When Indians buy foreign goods, this spending escapes as a leakage from the circular flow of income thereby decreasing aggregate demand. On the other hand, our exports to foreigners enter as an injection into the circular flow, thereby increasing the aggregate demand for goods produced within the domestic economy. When money, sorry, when goods move across national borders, money must be used. Money must be used for transactions. At the international level, there is no single currency that is issued by a single bank. Foreign economic agents will accept a national currency only if they are convinced that the amount of goods they can buy with a certain amount of that currency will not change frequently. In other words, the currency will maintain a stable purchasing power. Governments have tried to gain confidence of potential users by announcing that the national currency that the national currency will be freely convertible at a fixed price into assets. Okay, so this is an introduction to the open economy microeconomics, whereby it states that that economy which is open interacts with other countries through various channels, and these are the channels through which they can interact, the linkages: output market, financial market, labor market. Now what happens when we buy goods from the market, which is the foreign market? What happened? We have to spend foreign currency. We have to purchase the goods in foreign currency. So this is a type of leakage which takes place from the circular flow of income. Now, the circular flow of income, if you remember, is the first introductory chapter in chapter 1, circular flow of money, where we have injections and leakages. Anything which withdraws itself from the flow of money is called leakages, and anything which comes into the flow of money is called injection. So when we are buying foreign goods, what are we doing? We are taking away the foreign currencies reserves which we have, and it is going out, so it is termed as leakages. At the same time, when we are exporting our goods abroad, they are purchasing with their foreign currencies. It is acting as an injection. Now, when we are doing foreign trade, there is no fixed international currency or a single currency which can be used or issued by a single bank. Now, all economic agents, that is different countries who are trading with us, they will trade with us with the currency which we say, if they are convinced that the amount of goods which they can buy with a certain amount of that currency will not change frequently. So what are they looking forward to? They are looking forward to see whether there is a stability of the currency in the economy. And once that stability is justified, once that stability is assured to the foreign countries that, okay, we stand stable, we have a stable currency because of the stable government, etc., then we could see foreign trade taking place. Okay, so this is a setup for what we have, the international monetary system, which is the foreign exchange rate, which is the part of this chapter, which we will be taking up after we take up balance of payment. So we will stop till here, a small introduction, because we are not many in numbers and I don't want to do that. So we'll stop till here and we will continue tomorrow from where we stopped. Okay, so